I'm not sure what's going on, but I can tell you that my internet moving is slower than normal this evening. Very slow. We'll get there. This evening we're on to chapter 4.
When is this lab due?
You know, all labs due on weekends.
Oh, Sunday midnight.
Sunday, right.
Okay.
All right. 2, 4, 6, 8. I see everyone. I can see Alicia. Just give me a thumbs up once I hear your name. Alicia, Jermaine, Karine. Need the thumbs up. All right, Jermaine, I see your thumbs up. Ladine, Leon, Rohan Dixon,
Present.
Sean, Kevin, Tenley, Tyrese. Karine, are you in class? Give me a thumbs up. Karine and Alicia, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're in class.
Sir?
Okay, here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here.
Good, good, good. All right, so we're going to begin waiting for my chapter to come up. We're going to begin in chapter 4. And chapter 4, a little advanced. And we're moving into the course, further into the course to get, the more advanced the stuff get. So we had the early part, the 2 early chapters, or 3, they are like what you call foundation. All right, the fundamentals to move it to 4, 5, and so forth. All right. Waiting on my PowerPoint slide to come up. Tell you I don't know, everything moving slow this evening on my computer. I don't even know what's going on. Well, we're almost there.
We need some RAM.
Some large, fast RAM, eh? Yeah. It's one of those evenings. All right. We're almost there. Okay, chapter 4. Preventative maintenance and troubleshooting. Man, you can see my laptop giving me some talk today. All right, so we are completing chapter 4 today. We're going to do quiz, and we're going to do some, see what you understand, check your understanding. All right, let's do this. Go here and share screen. It's good to see everybody in class. Optimize audio and share. Okay, there we go. All right, so in everything we do in life, we will have trouble, we'll have hurdles, and we'd want to mitigate and prevent, you know, like even with your own life. Even with our own life, we have to do preventative stuff to ensure that we don't get sick. And the vaccine I'm not anti-vax, neither I'm pro-vax. All right. Even the vaccine that is around and the ones before this one, long time ago, we would have taken vaccine to give to is as a form of preventative maintenance to ensure that should we get sick, it doesn't affect us adversely and so forth. So that's what you're talking about when you talk about preventative maintenance for those who have motor vehicle. You know, we make sure that we change our oil, change the oil and filter and plugs, and we check on the alignment, the tires, and so forth, and so on. So we do preventative maintenance. You understand? At your home, you ensure that your windows screws are screwing properly, your locks are working, and you check every little thing that they to make sure your house is secure and safe. All right, and that's what preventative maintenance it's like you're mitigating against the possible errors or the possible wrongs that can happen. Okay, that's what we call preventative maintenance. Most of us should hear sometime or the other in our lifetime when our parents or grandparents or someone close to us or some elderly person close to us saying it's better to prevent than to cure. All right, so we want to spend the time to this evening to go through preventing, and it's what I call preventative maintenance, and then we want to talk about troubleshooting. You know, troubleshooting is it is not that we're going to shoot anything, but you know, in everything that we do, we'll have issues. And one other thing about it, we have to take some time to logically look through how the issues began, how it started, and then we can see what started, and we can now look at what is the result of this problem and how we are going to deal with it. You understand? And once we have troubleshoot stuff, we figure out what the problem is and how the resolution will come forward, and we put in preventative maintenance. So in life, in our life cycle, that's a part of what we do every day. So when you see the term preventative maintenance and you see troubleshooting, it's our everyday thing that we do, right? So for instance, your head start to hurt you or your belly start to hurt you. Your parents will say to you, boy, it look like you have gas. You know, one of those things the parents are, you know, the older person say, like you have gas if you have a belly ache, or you probably eat something when agree with you. You guys supposed to hear all of those kind of diagnosis, or let me say prognosis, by your parents. So they are allowing and assisting. They are really teaching us to troubleshoot, and then they say, you know, go drink some bush tea, drink some mint tea if your head hurt you, drink some water, go to your bed. You get too much trouble. That's why. Take what upon your mind off of your mind. All right. So just to give us an understanding that preventative maintenance and troubleshooting is an everyday situation. It's a part of our daily lives. And so because of that, applying it realm into our technical lives, into computing, it shouldn't be too difficult. All we need to do is look at it from the technical standpoint. Okay, class? All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
for those who can't hear, or their mic not working, you know, the chat is open. You can see what you need to say in the chat. And it's good to see everyone in class this evening. So let us start. All right. So in chapter 4, we have sections and we have objectives for each section, right? So we have preventative maintenance, and we're going to explain it. All right. And we're going to talk about the reason it must be performant on personal computers. We're going to describe PC maintenance, and we'll talk about the troubleshooting process, troubleshoot problems with PC and peripheral devices, describe each step of the troubleshooting process, because there are steps to accomplish the troubleshooting process effectively. All right. Identify common problems and solutions for PCs, troubleshoot computer components and peripherals using the 6-step troubleshooting process. All right. So, preventative maintenance. Can anybody give me an idea what what
before we go into the benefits. All right. All right, class. You remember, we don't start the chapters yet, so it's just your idea of what it is, right?
Sir, to eliminate our risks.
Risk, eliminate.
Yes, sir. Preventative maintenance to eliminate our risks, sir.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Come on, guys, don't be afraid. Like I said, nothing wrong or right. Just give me an idea what your thought is.
It helps to reduce the risk of damage and so forth to equipment.
Okay, cool. We are all saying good stuff. Anybody else?
Sir, can you repeat the question?
What do we think is preventative maintenance?
Sir, I'm not hearing you so clearly.
Yeah, what do we think is preventative maintenance? What would we call preventative maintenance as it relates to computers, PCs?
Things that we can do to prevent the components from being damaged or so forth.
Yeah, anybody else?
Something that have to do with prolonging the lifeline of the computer.
okay. All right. So we have the right idea. Believe me. That's why I tell you, don't worry about answering. Say what you think it is. I'm not looking for any straight line definition. I just want to make sure you guys have an understanding of what it is. The understanding of what it is means that you know what to do. All right, or how to go about it some way or the other. All right. Preventative maintenance are those actions or plans you take or you put in place, right? So that you should have, you basically, those plans, policies, actions you put in place to ensure longevity of your equipment, right? So it can be dusting, it can be changing a part or upgrading and those stuff. You understand? Shutting down the amount of users that use it. Those are what you call preventative maintenance. Your aim of preventative maintenance is to ensure that your equipment operate optimally always. Okay? Preventative maintenance plans are developed based on at least two factors: the location or the environment, right? Or the computer use, right? As for environment, you have environment that are dusty, like a construction site, you understand? And you have environment that are hot, like some supermarket when you have no AC, or some small shops without AC in a hot area where a small amount of ventilation is. Those you talk about environment. You understand? Those environment are either called you call it a violent environment to the computer. You're not going to treat the computer good. All right. And then we talk about the computer use. High traffic networks such as school network, that is a location. You understand? That is a usage, high traffic networks. So school networks, everybody using it. Different persons use it. It's not only one users. You understand? So you have different sessions in the lab. You have probably 15 classes for that grade are using that one lab, and you're talking about 15 different, well, it's not 15 different users, it's probably 15 different users per day. But the same person probably will not be going to the same computer again. So you have multiple users to the computer, and not everybody's going to be using the computer at the same care. So, and they might put different devices in there and so forth. And so those computers, you need additional scanning to ensure and removal of malicious software, to remove malicious software from those computers so that the computer will work properly. All right, so talk, for instance, HCIT, because they have high traffic usage there, their computer have to be scanned almost daily to ensure that those computers are operating optimal. So that's what we talk about when we talk about computer use. And we talk about location. Location is where it's at, and the computer use is the traffic, the amount of persons using it daily. All right, so you look at the screen here, look at the picture, the inset right here on the left. You can look at this computer. You can see the amount of dust. Trust me, it's not a piece of cotton cloth that is pasted over there. It's dust. It's the accumulation of dust over a period of time that built up and look like a piece of material that is placed over on the cooling system, the ventilation area of the computer. All right, and I don't have to tell you what that will do to the computer. All right, that piece of that there will prevent cooling from getting inside there, and the computer will begin to overheat. So how do you deal with dust? You use a cloth or a duster to clean the outside of the computer. When we talk about duster, we're talking about like a paintbrush or a brush, or you probably can have a compressed air duster, you know, those like a canister where you spray and the dust come out and you blow it off, right? If using cleaning product, put a small amount onto a cleaning cloth and then wipe the outside of the case. So notice we talk about the outside. A couple times we use the word outside of the case. All right. Dust on the outside of the computer can travel through the cooling fans inside, and they will get inside. And those accumulated dust prevents the flow of air and reduces the cooling of components. All right, and we know that computer to operate optimally, as we speak about this in earlier chapters, it needs cool environment. So when hot air is circulating in the computer case, you know it's not going to operate optimally. So you have to keep the area that breeze, or let me say cool air, comes through into the computer. You have to keep those areas clear, and you have to ensure that you keep cleaning the computer so that you remove dust as often as possible. Remove dust from the inside of the computer using a combination of compressed air or low air flow, ESD vacuum, all right? And a small lint-free cloth. One thing you need to understand about dust can also become an insulator inside the computer. Get between the contacts and prevent smooth flow of electricity, which prevents the computer from operating. Preventative maintenance on the internal components now. All right, so we have a checklist to inspect and dust for when of the components the inspect our dust are, and the damage can include these. All right, you have the CPU and heatsink. Many times if you look in a computer that is not properly kept, when you open it and look on the inside, you see cobwebs inside, dust. You understand me? Dust built up on the fans. The fan not spinning fast enough, it just barely turning. You understand? And you hear the fans grinding inside there. Sometimes you hear the audio going. You know, those are signs that that computer is not being properly kept. It's not maintained. No preventative maintenance policy or schedule is in place. RAM modules you need also to clean that with those areas. I say when dust get inside those little slots, get between the contacts, then it causes a problem. Storage devices, you need to clean those just the same. Adapter cards, you clean those. Cables, you clean those. As I explained, power devices and keyboard and mouses. Those are the stuff you want to ensure that you clean, or you use your duster to dust them, or a low power vacuum to blow out inside there. So inside they clean and pretty every time. It must go in there, it must look new. All right, so don't just turn it on, use it, turn it off, and forget about it. Environmental concerns. An optimal operating environment for a computer is clean, free of potential contaminants and within the temperature and humidity range specified by the manufacturer. So when you buy a computer, a laptop, or those things, if you really look on the booklet that come, it will underneath environment, optimal environment or operating environment, it will tell you the temperature and humidity that is optimal for the computer to operate at best. All right. So like on screen, you can see where it says 220. It's a label that is pasted onto the laptop. And it will say 20 degrees Celsius or 71 degrees Fahrenheit. You understand? And it will tell you that it has 50% optimal, 58% optimal. And so when you buy our computers, you look at it and make sure the environment, maybe 90%, well, let me say 90, maybe some of the times you can't get optimal environment for the computer, but we get a fan, I will ensure proper cooling is being done. Software. So we talk about the physical part of the computer just now, in and out. Talk about the components. We talk about the environment, right? So now we're going to talk about software. We verify that this installed software is current. Many of us users don't even know that is important. And one of the important reasons you make sure the software is current is, can anybody guess and tell me? You don't have to be correct, just guess and tell me. Can somebody?
So,
Mm-hmm.
so one of the reasons why the software must be current.
Yes, that's tell me one reason the software needs to be current or must be at least close to current as possible.
To remove like any bugs or error.
Right? Bugs are error. And not only that, let me help. Not only that, that is critically important because you will find that software will come out and it have issues and updates come with fixes for the issues. But some of the issues also is that it might have security holes, security gaps, security loopholes in those software. And so the unscrupulous persons, hackers and so forth, those persons will use those areas, those loopholes to exploit. You understand? Your system, hack onto your system, especially those systems that are on network or a corporate network, or even if you have it at home and use it to do business, right? Those systems don't need to be vulnerable. If it did not clean updating, it can become vulnerable and occurs. Those persons, unscrupulous persons, they will use those security loops and holes to exploit your computer. So we always want to ensure that our softwares are current, are updated, are up to date. All right, so follow the policies of the organization. That is when you're in an organization, corporation, school, wherever. When installing security updates, ensure that the updates go to the computer. You understand? Operating system, we use the operating system version that is required, and whatever other program updates is required, you get those updates and get them as they comes out. And one other thing you can do also is to read to see what the updates do or what they offer. All right. Create a software maintenance schedule. So this is a schedule that is supposed to be in your computer, and like every 2 weeks, you're supposed to be checking. Mark, when I say every 2 weeks, that is not a benchmark, but that is a way to go. When you have a software maintenance schedule, you can have, say, every 2 weeks, you're going to ensure that you check to see if any updates for your computer. Not many software will have update every 2 weeks. So one software that will have update almost every other day or every week is the virus, your antivirus. So that is a must. You're going to set that on automatic update because you won't come in and remember every day that you must update antivirus definitions. You understand me? So you want to set that on automatic. All right, so when you create a software maintenance schedule, you're going to know what days or what date, let me say, that you will need to do your updates. So review and install appropriate security software and driver updates. Remember, talk about drivers. Drivers are those softwares that are used to interface the hardware component of the computer with the operating system. So that are drivers, right? Their software is just the same. So we talk about driver updates must be good. Update the virus definition files and scan for viruses and spyware. So you're going to leave your antivirus, I mean your malware then. Let me say malware, because we don't say antivirus anymore. We talk about malware, because malware is it comprises of all the softwares that are malicious to our system. So antivirus, spybots, those stuff. You understand? And so you're going to leave your malware software to update automatically every day. You understand? So it no, I forget none every day, but once one come out, it will get it, and you leave it to update the virus definition every day too. So when it come out, you get it. All right. Remove unwanted or unused programs. These unwanted programs or unused programs can be a loophole, can be a security hole on your computer. And when you're talking about computer, I'm talking about your tablet, I'm talking about your laptop, I'm talking about your phone. And sometimes we download some free apps on our phone and our tablets to do certain things, and it has a whole heap of advertisement on it and so forth and so forth. And because we love freeness and we don't like to buy nothing, especially for the Android users like myself, you know, so we leave it there, and those softwares, those apps can become holes, openings for exploiters to exploit your device. And one of the things we need to know, what you're gonna say, why I worry about my like a cell phone? Most of us use our cell phone to store all kind of same thing. So many personal stuff. And when it's a person, I'm not talking about naked pictures or those stuff. I'm talking about like our banking information and so forth and so on. So we have to be careful when we're downloading. It's best we buy software. If we're gonna do free software, get some reviews on it, look at how many amount of ads and so forth, or do some other research on it. It's important. You want to scan your hard drives for errors and defrag your hard drive as often as you can. All right. And for those who don't understand, we're going to get there as you talk to defragment, because you know what you need to know is that your hard drive does not store files in one place. So you won't see a name, Michael, in bits and bytes, right? In one place on the hard drive. You're going to see it in different pieces all over the place. So it is fragmented. You understand? It is fragmented all over. And so what happens is that you'll find that you have all the unused space on the hard drive all over, because you just throw down things anyway. But if you start to pack it up neat in corner and close to each other, you realize that you have more space to work with. So when you're packing it up neat and close to each other in corners and so forth, that is called defragmentation. So you're the fragments all over the place, you're now bringing it together, and you're defragmenting your hard drive so that you have more space to move around easily, like you're decluttering your hard drive then, so more space to move around freely. And not only that, you can move around freely, the computer will move around freely. All right. Anybody, any question on the troubleshooting process there? Sorry, on the preventative maintenance, any questions? Come on, class, you must have questions on preventative maintenance. Any questions?
The antivirus apps, are they not free also, or something that you have to pay for monthly?
I can tell you that you have free stuff that are good. But I can also tell you that when it is free, you don't get all the features. You understand? So yes, you have malware software out there that is free, and it will tell you what features you will get from what features you will not get. All right. But when you buy it, you will get all the features that comes with that software. So yes, there are free one that you can use. All right, and the one that you pay for will come with all the features that you will require. Sorry.
Okay.
Any other question? So I know you probably want to find out when I talk about malware, and I tell you, malware is short for malicious software. And what I want you guys to keep in mind is that this is a software that comprises of all, like it will have an antivirus in there, it will have a anti-spyware in there, it will have a, they call it, anti-phishing part of it, it will have a network filtering, and those stuff where it really protects your computer fully. You understand? It protects your computer fully. So that's why it's malware, and we don't talk about just antivirus only. While you can use antivirus because you have antivirus software that is just antivirus. But malware now, it encompasses every one of the, well, not say every, it comprises software to deal with most malicious programs that are out there, or malicious attacks. All right. Troubleshooting process steps. All right. So we are at introduction to troubleshooting. And troubleshooting requires an organized and logical approach to problems with computers and other components, you know. And as I tried to give you a synopsis earlier on, and just to let you know that when I deal with computer, is more of the, you do want to do things logical. You understand? Troubleshooting is a skill refined over a time. And what that means is that you won't get it one go, because troubleshooting requires basic understanding first. You must have the ground understanding, because you can't research something that you don't have, troubleshoot something that you don't know anything about properly or effectively. All right? So that's why when your stove now work or your fridge now work, and you're not a refrigerated person or a AC person, you in your brain confused, because you know you plug it in and you know say you have electricity, yeah, but you still in our work. You understand? So you find out, and you say the bulb will work, you change all the bulb and it will work, but it now freeze up. The door them close properly and it now freeze up. That is your troubleshooting there, but you're troubleshooting on the knowledge that you have, just to make sure it is closed, that it is plugged in, that the door is closed properly, and so forth. But it won't work. So you're going to need further information, further knowledge to continue the troubleshooting process. And those knowledge you yourself might not have. So that's the reason you're going to call in your refrigeration technician or your AC technician, who will know, with his advanced knowledge or more knowledge than yours, will come in and troubleshoot logically and find the issue. So as I explained, it is a skill that will be refined over a period of time, but over a period of time with knowledge, with gained knowledge. You understand? So the more you practice it, the better you get at it, and the more efficient you will be. So don't be afraid to practice troubleshooting. Just think about it, how it works. All right? So before you begin troubleshooting problems, always follow the necessary precautions to protect data on a computer. Right? We are not, this course is not about fridge. All right? This course is about computers. So before you do anything on your computer, always remember, class, before you do anything at all when it comes to nothing, working, troubleshooting, make sure you protect the asset of data. Okay? Do you understand, class?
All right.
Okay. I don't want to feel like I'm alone in class, you know. So I want you guys to participate. You want to protect that data. It's an asset, and it's an expensive asset also. So you want to protect the computer before you start to do anything. All right? Because we are human and perfection is on its way to us, but we don't really get there totally as yet. So we, in our troubleshooting process, can cause issues also. So we want to ensure we protect what is critically important on the computer, and that is the data. These are the troubleshooting steps, all right? So the first thing you do is to identify the problem. So can someone give me when I talk about identify the problem, what do we mean when we say identify the problem?
know exactly what is happening or why it's failing.
No, you don't have to know why. You're only identifying the problem. All right. So first of all, you call for support. You call for support. So this is a two-way, you know. So I'm gonna talk. You call my number because I'm the support person, and you say, Michael, why my computer? And you're going to identify the problem to me now. So you're going to say, why my computer stop working? It's not booting up. So you just identify the problem by telling me that it's not booting up. So that is the first step. You identify, 'cause a man can say the computer stop work, but it's different things. It can be that it freeze up, it can be that boy, he can't get to do what he want to do. Same saying our work. But the problem, identification of the problem is it is not booting up. All right? Is everybody with me?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. So first step is to identify the problem. All right. So now that you know it, you identify the problem, you know it's not booting up. What are the probable cause? And that is number two. You're gonna establish a theory of probable cause. All right. So the next thing you need to do now. So for those who do who are still in school, those are out of school. For those who are science students, remember in science class, we'll first thing when we're doing anything, we'll first have an hypothesis. An hypothesis we'll have. All right. And then we're going to identify this is the theory, what we're going to do. You understand? The hypothesis is, can the book stay ready if I throw water on it? All right. And then we're going to establish the theory about what can happen or what not going to happen. And then we're going to get into the action to say, okay, when we do this, this is what we're expecting and so forth. That is the same thing in our troubleshooting process, just a little bit different. So we identify the problem and we establish a theory of probable cause. So the computer not booting up. So based on our current knowledge, class, I'm speaking to class now, right? Based on our current knowledge that we have garnered so far over the last couple of days, what could be a possible or a probable cause that the computer is not booting?
So, sir,
Yes, sir.
we know that a hard drive is also a booting device, right?
The
Because the
hard
computer
drive, the
can,
bad hard drive, right? It keeps this operating system on it and it will boot. So
right, and yes, because you have
it
different
boots the
type of,
operating system.
right, yeah, because you have different types of booting. You can use the flash drive because certain person use it as booting, right?
Right?
But you know that if you know, as me know that since it's a part of a booting device, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be one of the problem, right? But there
Uh-huh.
can be also different problem. But to troubleshoot, you either have to use like hard drive that you already use that have already your data on it,
But although if the computer is not booting,
as in it
what
not
is it?
turning on,
Yeah, yes.
as
So when
in
it
no power.
remember your computer boot up, then boots to the operating system.
Okay, so the hard
So
drive booting.
the booting of the computer is when it run your post test. You know, do everybody know what the post is?
No,
Post. Post
no.
stand for power on self-test. We talk about it in chapter 1. When
Oh yeah,
the
power.
computer boots up and it checks the the motherboard comes up, it checks the memory, it checks the keyboard, it checks for the monitor, and it checks for the hard drive. And if it doesn't find anyone faulty, then they give some beeps. We talk about it, man.
So it can also be BIOS then,
It can be
because it
many
depends.
things. It can
Because
be
oh,
it can
it,
be many things. But
or
our job,
battery.
our job as the technician is to know what will prevent your computer from booting up. The first thing you want to check, the number one thing, and I will tell you this, when you are troubleshooting for probable cause of anything, always start from basic. Never go to the complex probable first, all right? So what is the first thing you will check if your computer not booting up? Let me hear.
Battery.
Power cable.
Power cable.
Power cable. Make sure it is plugged in. That is the first thing you need to check.
Think about the
All right.
laptop, sorry.
Right. But even if it's a laptop, and make sure the battery is working and it have power. Okay, you must have power to it. You understand? But yes, this is number one step. Make sure you are getting power to the device. When it's the second thing would you check as that upcoming budding technician, your computer not booting up, what would you check? If you plug it in, what would you do next if a person tell you, say, boy, my computer not booting up? What would you say to them? Since it is plugged in.
Ask them if they get a power light.
So you ask them if they get the power light after they plug it in, after they press the power button. Because I give you an example. We don't want to spend much time on this, but I give you an example. Many years ago, many long time ago, and when I say many long time, I mean thousands of years ago, in my very, very youthful stage of computing, long time, when Windows just come out, and it was Windows 95. It was within the first version of Windows, right? I'm talking about, like I said, many thousands of years ago, all right? And someone someone call in and ask about, say, boy, the computer not working. And, in such doing, you're trying to assist the user. You understand? So you ask the person what kind of computer they have. It is a Windows 95, and they say yes. So I say, all right. Well, you want to say to the person, okay, so is the computer booted up? Is it on? They say, yes, it's on. Say, can you see anything on screen? You say, yes, they can see something on screen. And they say they see pictures on screen. So I say, so you say to the person, how many windows do you have open? And the person tell us, say, only one window. You tell the person to close that window. The person close the window. All right. And so I'm just trying to get to you that, you have to ensure that you think that your user is not totally as knowledgeable as you. All right. So and they close the window. They say, have you closed the window? Yes, sir, I've closed the window. All right. So what is there now? Same thing. Mom, did you close the window? Yes, I closed the window. Can you tell me what you see on screen now? I'm seeing the same thing that was there before. Mom, which window did you close? I closed the kitchen window. You get what I'm saying, class? So your person that calls in did not understand the term window when they say about window. So they thought their window was their physical kitchen window. So when he said close any window open, he said yes, one. It was her kitchen window. And she went and closed her window. So she did what the man tell her to do, but she wasn't working on a computer. Point to me I tell her is, if someone calls in and you say, make sure the power cable is in, you want to tell them the next basic thing to do. Power on your computer by pressing the power button.
So you have to be more accurate of what you're telling the person.
Exactly, and specific. So I always say this here, a caller does not like to feel that they don't know anything, but you don't have to let them feel that way. But always in your mind, assume that the caller does not know anything until they get to where you realize that they know something. All right? So you ask them to power on the computer by pressing the power button. And then that's how you start to establish the theory of probable cause now. And if something comes on screen and so forth and so forth. All right? Number 3, you want to test your theory. So you're already in your head, tell yourself that a couple of reasons the computer could not turn on. Maybe it not plug in, not booting up, maybe it not plug in, and maybe it's not powered on. Or it could be that the monitor is not connected to the computer so the person can't see what's going on. So those probable causes you're going to put in your head, and then you're going to try and test the theory to ensure that the user that calls in for support complete all the tasks that you are asking to be completed so that you can test your theory of probable cause to see if that's how it is. So you establish a theory, then you test the theory to determine the cause. So you're gonna ask the user to do all now to make sure this plug-in. They tell them, say, all right, maybe in them turn it on, press the power button and then turn it on. What is on the screen? Nothing is on the screen. Check to see if the monitor cable is plugged in. The monitor cable is plugged into the computer. Check to see if the monitor power cable is plugged in. Yes, sir, the monitor power cable is plugged in. Now, with all of that, the user should be seeing something on the screen. If nothing is coming up on the screen, then that's where you're going to move to a different probable cause now. All right? So, number 4, after we test the theory, we establish a plan of action to resolve the problem and to implement the solution. All right? So after we test the theory and determine the cause, now we have determined the cause, we realize that, hey, light gone. No light no that the people in yard. You understand? Because you see, no light no come on after them plug it in, because when you press the power button, no light no come upon it. And no light no come upon the monitor, so light gone. So you probably tell say, hey, go turn on the kitchen light and see if no light come on. You understand? Now, when that done, you establish a plan of action to resolve the problem. So you will say, all right, you know, ma'am, I think your electricity is out. You want to call me back as soon, or you want to try again as soon as electricity is in. Or if it is not that, and it is that, you think the monitor, after you say, do you see a light on the power light when you press the power button? Do you see a light flashing? And the person says, yes, a light is flashing. All right. And you say to the person, did you hear a beep? And the person says, yes, I heard a beep. Right? You know that the computer is booting. You're still not seeing anything on the screen. Press the power button on the monitor, and then press the power button on the monitor. The power button comes up. But now you're not seeing anything on the screen still. Then you need to establish a plan of action to resolve the problem. Now you figure out that the monitor is not working. You're going to say, Mom, I think your monitor is not working. We'll have to replace the monitor. All right? Now, some situation you can resolve everything and verify, complete all 6 steps in one. Some of them you can't. So now you're going to say, you have to replace the monitor. Do you have a next monitor in your office or at your home? Yes, sir, I do. Can you take that monitor and put it on the computer? And they take the monitor and put it on the computer. And now it is working. So you have at number 5 now, verifying full system functionality if applicable. So you say and implement it. Preventative maintenance. So you're going to make sure know that you can see what is happening on the computer. So you said to her, Mom, oh, he said to you, sir, yes, I see things now on the screen. Things is coming up and things are coming up now and so forth. All right. So you ensure that for system function, you said to the person, are you seeing what you want to see? Are you getting what you want to get? Is your keyboard working? Can you log in and get to where you want to get? Yes, sir, I can do that. All right. And then you're going to say to the person, well, I think your monitor is defective, so you need to buy a new one. All right. No, that is where you're going to tell the person, you don't know what caused the monitor for damage. You understand? Because you don't look on it, the monitor. But you get to this point of resolving one issue. You're going to document your findings, actions, and outcomes afterwards. So that is a 6-step process. All right. It might sound like long, but you do it all the time. It's just that you have never seen it in an organized fashion or format like this. All right. So number 1, you identify. All right. Number 2, you establish a theory. Number 3, you test your theory. After you test the theory, then and you determine the cause, you want to establish the plan of action to resolve the problem. Because now you test the theory and you determine the cause. You want to resolve the problem and implement the solutions. All right. Then after that, you want to verify that the system is functioning properly, full functionality of the system and the applicable applications. And if applicable, you implement preventative measure. With the monitor, it wouldn't be applicable to implement preventative measure, but you at least check and make sure the system is working. And the final thing to do is always, and we're talking about as a support person in an organization, or if you are freelancing, you want to document your findings, the actions taken, and the outcomes. Are we clear on that, class?
Clear.
All right, so this is I want you guys to look at your NetAcad platform where you will see this information in more detail. All right, but the troubleshooting process, the steps comes with these kind of documents that you would use to document information. All right, we have the customer name for customer information, contact name, address, phone number. Most of us, when we call for support, they might not ask you your address, but definitely gonna ask you for your company name, your contact name, and a phone number. All right, and they will ask you what manufacturer computer you have on the model. They ask you what operating system is on it. When we talk about operating system, what are we talking about? Give me an example of an operating system.
Windows.
Those
Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows
Android.
XP, Android, whatever different versions of Androids. Those are operating systems. They're talking about the Mac OS. Also, we're talking about the iOS that is on the Apple. They're talking about iOS also that is on the Cisco switches and so forth. We're talking
They would
about
understand about the software and a whole.
this operating system is a software. All right. Remember, we're going to go through the operating system. The operating system is what interacts with the components of the computer and the user. Remember, we talk about that, in the first or second chapter. Operating system, it interacts with the hardware components of the computer and the user, because that's what you interface with when you're working on the computer, the operating system. All right. So you have Linux, you have Unix, you have different version of Linux, and so forth and so forth. You have different version of operating systems. So just for you to know what we talk about when you talk about operating system. When you talk about the network environment, what kind of network environment you're in? All right, is it wireless? Is it Ethernet? You understand? Is it token ring? Whatever. Okay. They talk about the connection type. All right. Then you're gonna problem description. You are gonna take down the problem description from your user. All right. And you are gonna ask open-ended questions, and you're also gonna ask close-ended questions. All right. Close-ended questions is helping the caller to answer you directly what you ask. All right. And open-ended questions is when you want the caller to explain their experience or their visual or their audio senses, what is going on. All right. They want to record the error messages, the beep sequences. You want to know what LEDs are on, and you want to know if the post test is done. The post test, post stand for power on self-test. It's in chapter 1 and 2. I want you guys to read it up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make it be an important part of one of your assignment. All right. By the way, we are doing chapter 3 exam this week, and I really think that we need to do chapter 4. All right, so we established a theory of probable cause, and we have gone through here and see, we talk about this already basically, so we're going to skip these slides quickly. So, we talk about if the device is powered off, power switch for the outlet is turned off, surge protector is turned off, loose external cable connection. Sometimes your power cables are loose, they are not totally pulled away, but they are not connected, so they are loose. All right. And you have non-bootable disk in the designated boot drive. For instance, if you have set up in your floppy drive or your USB drive and you set it up in your BIOS to make those be your first boot device. Sometimes we does that. We change our first, because we probably had just install our operating system and we install from a flash drive. So we have our flash drive to be the first bootable device. And so we might have a different flash drive that is not bootable, is non-bootable in that USB port. And so when the computer boots up, because in the BIOS it has the first bootable drive to be a USB device, right? It looks there and it realizes that it's not bootable. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to just tell you non-bootable device found, can't boot OS. All right. So you can have incorrect boot order also in the BIOS setup, just like I said. So these are probable causes why your computer will not boot, and there are more, but this is how you establish it. You think of it logically, what really could happen. It's logic. You're thinking logically and you're thinking practically too. All right? You have to think practically. Some of the times you have to think even in yourself, what mistake could you have made? Yeah, do we understand the class?
Understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. All right, so we're going through the steps. All right, so we ensure the device is powered on after we're testing the theory now. Then we ensure the power switch for the outlet is turned on. We ensure the third protector is turned on. And we ensure external cable connections are secure, they're not loosed. We ensure that the designated boot drive is the bootable one or it is bootable. And we verify the proper boot order is set up in the BIOS. Okay? For those who have never done some
So,
of these
sir,
steps.
when you do the hard drive, right? Like exchange of hard drive, because they normally have to have one bootable drive, bootable flash drive, right? And how you really format the hard drive?
All right, so formatting the hard drive, once you, first of all, it, it depends on what OS you're putting on and depends on what level you are in the technician field, right? So if you're going to put on a Windows operating system on a hard drive, a new hard drive, right? First, you need to ensure that you can boot the computer. So you're going to ensure that your installation source, whether it be a DVD drive or a flash drive, must be bootable. Once it is bootable, it is going to boot up and start the installation process. When it starts the installation process, it will find the hard drive automatically once it is plugged onto your motherboard and the power cable is plugged onto it. Once it finds the motherboard, the hard drive, it will then give you the option to format the hard drive. So when you're doing an installation in that way, that's how you will format the hard drive. All right. Other than that, you can make like a boot setup on your flash drive where you boot to your flash drive and you have a disk part, DISKPART. It's a small DOS black screen application that you can use to format your hard drive, to create partitions, and so forth and so forth. Or you can, when in Windows, if your computer is working, you can put in that hard drive, whether it's in your computer or externally. You right click on the hard drive that you want to format. You go to properties and that is one way to do it in Windows, and you select format. All right. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, but realize that I had a Windows 10 boot error, right? And the thing that me have to do, if you never, because me not understand it much, me have to go on YouTube to see how they actually do it. They have some command prompt code like command prompt. Yes,
Right.
if copy the Windows 10 boot something to the hard drive and then
Right.
right and boot it from the hard drive. When I do it before from the flash drive, I still have a flash drive in there while me I
Yes.
boot it up with the hard drive because now we copy to it have to boot from the hard drive
From
and
the hard
that me
drive.
basically do.
So you
But
copy the
with the,
bootloader.
right, but what me realize now say me pull out the flash drive and me realize say not working. It stopped work after that
But did
because
they change the boot? Do they change the boot drive now? The boot order from the flash drive to the hard drive?
it looked like he never really fully did that. I don't know exactly what happened there. But when we put in back the flash drive in there, it start to run freely.
So you need to change one of the probable causes. You know, as I say, you have to think about logic. Could be that you need to change the boot order now. You know, verify the boot order in the BIOS setup and make sure that it is on the hard drive.
That me
All right.
basically put it on the hard drive and then boot it from the hard drive afterwards, along with the flash drive being in it, the setting up of the Windows. That's basically what me do.
Okay. All right. Give me a moment. Just give me a second.
Leon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
you
So
have a problem. 1 second.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Leon?
What you say?
No, man, you still have a problem when you take out the flash drive.
No, no, be.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
As what me start since he already set up, me just take out the flash drive because after you finish the setup of Windows, you can take out the flash drive, take out the flash drive, or eject the flash drive, right? And then you start it again with the boot.
Hmm.
Start from the boot from the hard drive and it start work. And that's basically what me do.
Okay, all right.
All right. So we, in our one way, we do troubleshooting just the same on a daily basis. All right. So number 4, we establish a plan of action. We talk about that. All right. If no solution is achieved in a previous step, further research is needed to implement a solution. All right. So the further solution could be a help desk repair logs to see if somebody else has had that problem before. You can ask other technicians that you know. You can check for the manufacturer frequent asked questions website and see if there's an issue like that log there. Technical website also, news groups, computer manuals, device manuals, online forums, or you can do a Google. Okay. That is if you don't have any solution. All right. Now we have step 5. We want to verify full functionality. So the computer is reboot. Ensure multiple applications work properly. Verify that the network and internet connections are available. Print a document from one of the applications to ensure that the person can print. Ensure all attached devices work properly. Ensure no errors or error messages are received. So that is how you verify full functionality of the computer after you had carried through your implementation of the resolution. Step 6 now, we're going to document our findings as I explained before. The actions that we take and the outcomes, what happened. You're going to discuss the solution and implement it with the customer so they have an understanding what happened. You're going to have the customer verify that the problem has been solved, resolved, so they must tell us that everything is okay now. You're going to provide the customer with all paperwork. Send them via email or however they want it. You're going to document the steps taken to solve the problem in the work order. So as an online support person, each call you get, you will have a work order. And you're going to document how you solved the problem, the issue, in that work order or in the technical or the technician's journal. Document any components used in the repair. Record all of those stuff. And you're going to record the amount of time spent to resolve the problem. All right. So those are some of the stuff that you do as a support person. All right. So we're going to look at PC, common problems and solutions. Any question before we move forward? Okay, so computer problems can be attributed to hardware, software, network, or some combination of the three. All right, these are the common hardware problems that you will see. The storage device problem. And these are often related to loose or incorrect cable connections. You have incorrect drive and media formats. The jumper settings and the BIOS may be incorrect. All right, so for motherboard and internal components, these problems are often caused by the incorrect or cable that are not connected properly, maybe loose, slack, whatever. Components that fail, like your adapter cards, or even your memory. Your memory card, your memory RAM module can be bad. Even your CPU can be problematic. And you could have incorrect software drivers. I remember we talk about drivers, not tell you it is a software, but what a driver does is the interaction between the operating system and the hardware component. So if that's incorrect, if that driver is incorrect, then you won't get the component, that hardware that is there to work properly, whether it's a printer or an internal component. Or it could be that you download corrupted updates. All right, sometimes Windows might send down updates and it might get corrupted on its way down, and you'll have issues trying to run some applications. Power supply problems, those are often caused by faulty power supply. You can have a loose connection on the power supply, or you can have a wattage problem, inadequate wattage, or you can have where the fan on the power supply does not work properly to cool the power supply. So as soon as it overheats, it shut down. CPU and memory problems. These are also caused by faulty installations. And one main faulty installation for the CPU, it could be that you did not apply any thermal paste. All right. Just keep that in head. All right. You can have incorrect BIOS settings. That's your BIOS settings. Your BIOS settings is stored in a CMOS. All right. And you can have inadequate cooling and ventilation. And you can also have compatibility issues. Compatibility issues would have been with the memory. Inadequate cooling and ventilation, that will affect the CPU, because the CPU generate lots of heat. Display problems are often caused by incorrect settings, loose connections, or incorrect or corrupted drivers. So some of the common problems that you may have, and they tell you, what could be the problem, so then you will know how to solve it. All right. So these are some of the stuff that we often see, the computer. All right, so like for this year, we're gonna do check our understand, we're gonna look at some of these here. But some of the problems that we have will have, like the computer does not recognize a storage device. You understand? And the reason for that, it could be the storage device setting in the BIOS are incorrect. You understand? That is the probable cause there, so. All right. And then you want to replace the storage device if it's a problem, or you want to make sure the correct settings are in the BIOS. You want to reset the storage device settings in the BIOS. All right. So the next one is that the computer does not recognize an optical disc. The probable cause could be that the power cable is loose also. You understand? It could be that the power cable is loose. It could be that the data cable is loose. So, and the possible solution is to secure the data cable or to secure the power cable. All right. The computer will not eject the optical disc. All right. It could be that the power cable is totally off also. And if the power cable is off, you just need to put it on, because there's no power to the cable, to the optical drive. It won't get any power to move the disc in and out. Computer does not recognize a removable or external drive, is the same thing we talk about. It could be that the jumpers are also incorrectly set. And that was like back in the days. You really don't set jumpers nowadays anymore. All right, because back in the days when it was ID, you used to set the jumpers for it to be either slave or master or the primary. All right. And so on and so on and so forth. All right. Yeah, so the clock, these are two probable cause right here and two possible solution, and these matched everything that is here. So the clock on the computer is no longer keeping the correct time. We all should know this one here in the BIOS settings. All right, so we know that when that happens, it could be that the CMOS battery is loose or the battery drain out. And the problem with it, we fix it, is by securing the battery or we replace the battery. You understand? After updating BIOS firmware, the computer will not start. And these are the probable cause right here, just the same, and the possible solutions. The computer displays the incorrect CPU information when the computer boots, and these are the same probable cause and possible solutions. All right. So please go through these problems and so forth on your NetAcad. All right. So to identify the problem as it comes to power supply, you have the computer will not turn on. We talk about that. And it could be that the computer is not plugged into the AC outlet is faulty. It could be that the power card is faulty. It could be that the power supply switch is not turned on. The power supply switch is set to the incorrect voltage. And incorrect voltage, you know, you have 240, 220 or 240 volt or 110, 115, right? And it could be that the power button is not connected correctly to the front panel connector. You know that when you connect it to the motherboard, power button is not connected properly. All right, then you have the power supply has failed, means that the power supply itself no good. All right, the computer reboots and turn off unexpectedly, or there is smoke or the smell of burning electronics. You understand? And we can't click on here to find it because it is out of, you'd have to be, when you're on NetAcad, you can click on each one and it will show you the probable cause. Right now, this slide will not be able to give you every single thing. All right. Okay. So personal reference tools. What are personal reference tools? Personal reference tools that include troubleshooting guides. So that could be a booklet that comes with the computer or the monitor or the printer or whatever device equipment that you're using. You have the manufacturer manual. All right. You have the quick reference guides. Those definitely come with like printers and those stuff. And you have a repair journal. A repair journal, if you're working in an organization or you are the organization, you would want to ensure that you log stuff so that you can always look back to it. All right, so that's what would call your repair journal. In addition to an invoice, a technician keeps a journal of upgrades and repairs. So you need to know which computer is running Windows 10.1 or which one is running 10.2. All right, I don't know if anybody using Windows 11 as yet, so I don't want to say that. So you want to know those upgrades and you want to know what repair was done to it and what was changed or what was changed or replaced or so forth. All right. Notes. Make notes as you go through the troubleshooting and repair process and refer to these notes to avoid repeating steps. And you don't want to waste time to do something where you could have easily look back and realize this is what you need to do. All right. Journal. The journal include the description of problems. And class, I'm going to tell you, for those persons who are serious about this year, it's important that you do these things because your brain will not remember every single thing, and it doesn't matter how good you are. So you want to have journals, records, or notes You want to record these stuff. So that means you can always flip a page and find out that you've seen this error before, you've seen this problem before, and this is how you have dealt with it in the past. All right. Note any configuration changes that were made on any equipment and the parts were replaced. All right. And you want to have your history of repairs. Make a detailed list of problems and repairs, including the date, replacement parts, and customer information. All right, you want to have those things as a history of repairs, because you want, when the customer call you about something, you can know what was done, what date it was done, what changes were made. The history allows the technician to determine the work that has been performed on a specific computer in the past. All right, as a technician, those are things you need to have in your arsenal, your personal reference tools, or I would say your PRT. Okay, any questions, class? Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, the internet reference tools. We all, everybody, I think it was Leon, or I think if I remember, we were talking that we go on event on YouTube. You have the internet. Everybody have the internet now as a reference. All right, so you have the internet reference tools. All right, the internet is an excellent source of information about specific hardware problems and possible solutions. So once you know what the problem is, you can always search Mr. Google or Miss Google. Let me not be. You can search Google or YouTube or somewhere on the internet for internet help. All right. Important to know is that not everything that it tells you to do will fix the problem, because people might experience the same issues for different reasons. All right. But nothing is wrong with trying. All right, the internet is an excellent source of information about specific hardware problems and possible solution. Note the word possible solution. So you use the search engines I mentioned, Google. You use the news groups. You use the manufacturer website and look at their frequent asked question or their support page. Online computer manuals, online forums and chat, and technical websites. Those are your internet reference tools. All right. So we have advanced problems. We have advanced problems and solutions for hardware. All right. This is not interactive because in your NetAcad, we'd have to click each tab and it will show you the possible solutions and so forth. All right. So I'm going to skip these pages here. So a lab is required for chapter 4, which is using a multimeter to test a power supply. All right. Or you can use a power supply tester. You guys don't have that. I will have to give you an example how that works. Probably when we go in class. All right. Right now, the government has extended the lockdown period for another 2 weeks. But don't worry, don't fret. We will get the time. We'll go through everything. We'll do the FaceTime. When we do face-to-face, we'll go through what we need to go through. All I need you guys to do is to continue to read. When you don't understand, don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask questions in the group. Don't feel bad, because I'm not the only one with solutions. You have team members or group members that has solutions also. And sometimes sharing with each other is very good. I like to see when you guys share with each other, talk about issues that you're having and the solution, like the other day with the exam, and I didn't intervene. So I love when you guys discuss problems in the group and everybody put in their 2 pence, and that's how you learn, and that's how you have to piggyback and get information from each other. You can't do it by yourself. No technician is an island. You'll never get anywhere. You'll spend forever trying to fix an issue if it's like that. You have to learn to rely on persons that you know who can help you. All right. All right. So the chapter is basically done almost. We talk about preventative maintenance and troubleshooting, and we explain why preventative maintenance must be performed. We talk about the troubleshooting process, and we explain it also, the 6-step process. And I will tell you that the 6-step process is going to be a part of this course for the entire course. Moving forward, you will see it comes up over and over. So get used to it. All right, so that's it for chapter 4. It's 7 o'clock, and we're going to take our 15 minutes break. You guys gonna drink your water and do your stuff. When you come back, we'll move on to chapter 5, and at 8:30 we will stop and we will do check your understanding, or probably I should do check your understanding first, and then we move on to chapter 5. So when we come back, we'll do check your understanding for 30 minutes, and then we move on to chapter 5. Okay, class?
Sir, one question before you go.
Okay.
So you have a Windows 8 and you upgrade it to Windows 10. But you find out that Windows 10 make your computer move slower. You can tell me what the solution for that?
2 things. What amount of memory have in a computer?
Hold on, let me tell you.
Windows 10 uses memory a lot more than Windows 8. That is the first thing.
Okay.
Second thing, you're probably using up more hard drive space because it did not, when it removes Windows 8, when it upgrade Windows 8, what it did was to it leave extra installation files on a computer and so forth. But most likely, what is happening is your memory issue.
But I have 4 gig of RAM right now, so I don't know if that is one of the problems.
4 gig of RAM is little bit, man.
Little bit. Okay, all right. No problem.
When you're going into 4 gig of RAM was good for Windows 7.
7. Okay.
When you're going into Windows 10, you are heavily relying. Windows is heavily reliable on memory because it uses more graphics and there's more stuff for you. So you're definitely going to need.
Okay.
You're definitely going to need more memory.
Okay. No problem. Oh, one more before. So the Intel processor and the AMD processor, which one is more advanced or better in a sense?
I don't do it like that. It depends on what you want to use it for. Both of them are excellent. I love AMD and I love Intel.
Okay.
Both of them, I love AMD. And I love when I'm gonna
gamers.
Most gamers will use the AMD.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it all depends on the application, what you're gonna use it for. But AMD is very good, very, very good.
AMD is also what's in the Xbox consoles.
So that's what I'm saying, AMD is a powerful and very fast processor, just like the Intel brands. But guess what? We decide when we are buying a processor, depends on what we're going to use it for. So when I talk about which one faster, which one better, there's no such thing. Which one is better for X and which one is better for Y is easier to say. You understand? But AMD are very good.
All right, my boss. Respect.
All right, so see you guys in 15 minutes. All right, good evening, class. We are back here. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we are starting with check our understanding of what we have gone through for the class this evening. All right, what 4 tools would be required by a technician during a preventative maintenance on a desktop PC? You're going to choose 4. We have the anti-static wrist strap. All right. We have the can of compressor, lint-free cloths, screwdriver, hammer, industrial vacuum, cotton swabs. So you're gonna name 4 of the tools that will be required from the list.
The static.
Can of
Yeah.
compress air.
All right.
The
Go ahead.
anti-static wrist strap.
Uh-huh.
You have the
Lens
screwdriver,
free cloth.
Which one?
the lint-free
Lint-free cloth,
cloths, and
And
screwdriver.
screwdriver for
It
preventative
is
maintenance.
Yes.
you can't go in there without a screwdriver.
Okay, all right. Let us move forward. What 2 issues are primarily related to cables inside a PC? Choose 2. Dust, humidity, crimping, missing screws, bent pins, animal ear. What
Crimping
2?
and bend pins.
Crimping and bent pins. All right, that's what they say.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm not hearing anything from the ladies this evening. What's going on?
Be a crux out.
Okay. All right. Which 3 benefits result from doing frequent preventative maintenance on desktop PCs? Choose 3. Less computer downtime, fewer security breaches, longer equipment life, fewer spam emails, system access to more RAM, elimination of hardware component failures, elimination of updating operating software. Choose the 3.
Less computer downtime.
Okay, go ahead.
System access to more.
All right, you sure? Read it. What 3 benefits? All right, let me click on it. It's checking your understanding.
Sir, I chose that one in regards to like cleaning up the files on the computer because some of them would run in the background from startups. If you take them off, if you're not using them, then in that regard.
Okay. All right, so one more benefit.
Longer equipment life.
Finally, I hear a female voice. Finally, bless your soul, Tenley. A mining employee spends much of the time working with a laptop down in the mines. What 3 factors would be most concern to a technician when doing preventative maintenance on the employee's laptop? You're going to choose 3. You have dust, humidity, crimped cables, loose connectors, dirty keyboard, unseated adapter cards, loose cables. So remember, what factors would be most concern for the technician when doing preventative maintenance on that laptop?
Have dust,
Okay, so we said those.
Humidity.
Humidity.
and dirty keyboard.
Dirty keyboard. Okay. A technician forgot an anti-static mat for doing a preventative maintenance on a PC in the reception area. Since the reception area does not have carpet, it's an acceptable solution to take off the shoes and work in socks instead of wasting valuable returning to the for the mat. Is that true or false?
False.
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 Okay, let us check what we have done here. Okay, incorrect. Let me see which one you have incorrect. Well, those are no correct. Crimping and bent pins. All right, and we talk about for the mind, dust, humidity, and dirty keyboard for the laptop. Definitely false for that one. But the concern was this one. Can somebody tell me the correct ones right here? Or which one is incorrect?
This
I think it eliminates.
system access to RAM.
That is incorrect, or is it correct?
Yeah, I think that is
Incorrect.
more incorrect.
Okay, so what are we replacing it with?
I will go for the elimination of updating operating software.
All right, so it's a which three
If you're,
benefits?
I think it's
Talking
fewer,
about benefits. All right.
fewer security
Yes.
breaches.
Or something. Free can
I
prevent
think
it.
that would have been more.
Yeah, you have the security breaches of on the other, yeah.
So
And then
everybody
Security
sticking with.
breaches.
security
so-
breaches.
Yeah.
All right. Any ladies? Any one of the ladies agree?
Yes, sir. That's
All
the correct.
right. All right.
I don't,
Cool.
I don't think
Let-
the long life equipment work, you know.
No, less computer downtime, longer equipment life. All right, let's check. Aha, see?
Okay, okay.
All right,
look
so
at
yes, definitely benefits. When you do preventative maintenance on anything, even including yourself, except for a tragedy, you are basically doing it for longer life, longer equipment life. All right, and so that is a benefit. That is a true benefit. All right, take care of something. You know, my stepmother always tell me that the cleaner I keep, or the better it work, and the longer it lasts. I don't know if anyone ever hear that yet from our grandparents and so forth. You understand? Tenley, anyone of females must know that the line there. The cleaner it keep, the better it is, the longer it lasts. Everybody must know that. You don't know that? Any guys who never hear that before?
Never heard that before.
Yes, sir.
All right, keep that line so you learn that one from me too. All right? Cleaner it keep, better it work, and the longer it lasts. So let's move to the next. Check your understanding. All right. So we did 4.1, 4.2, troubleshooting. See anything down here? We have this one here down here. Check your understanding. And let's go. This activity has questions that a technician might ask the customer to help identify the problem. Identify which are open-ended and which are closed-ended questions by dragging the type to the drop boxes to the left of the questions. So the answer is either open-ended question or a closed-ended question. All right. So the technician will ask this question: has anyone else used your computer recently? Is that open-ended or closed-ended?
Open-ended.
Anybody else? Is that the majority?
Open-ended.
So
What is majority? I want to hear majority. Because I'm hearing
Open-ended.
open-ended,
Correct.
Closed-ended.
closed-ended. Tenley said closed-ended.
Yes, sir.
Closed-ended.
Karine said closed-ended.
Yeah, that's what I'll be close-ended for sure.
Closed-ended from Tevin.
Right.
Closed-ended, yeah, closed-ended.
And one more person said close. Okay, so that's majority. I'm sorry.
Closed-ended.
I kind of trying to help you on the first question because I don't want you the next question, I'm not going to be a part of it. All right, close-ended questions are what you are required to answer yes or no, or a specific answer. Open-ended requires explanation, discussion, or feeling or emotion or something of the sort. All right. Have you received any error messages on your computer?
Closed-ended.
Everybody agree?
Correct. Close-ended.
Okay. What problems are you experiencing with your computer or network?
Ended.
Open-ended.
Open-ended. Everybody agree? Everybody agree? When I hear none of the females them, I need to hear females agree or disagree.
Agree.
Agree? All right. Elisa, I not hear anything from Elisa. I'm going to tell her, Elisa just not talking. Can you reproduce the problem, open-ended or closed-ended? Just
It's a close-ended question.
Close-ended.
Yes.
what software has been installed on your computer recently?
Ended.
Open-ended.
What were you doing when the problem was identified?
Open-ended.
Open-ended.
Have you changed your password recently?
Ended.
Close-ended.
Which one is it?
Close.
Close-ended.
Close-ended.
What hardware changes have been made recently to your computer?
Open-ended.
Ended.
Are you currently logged into your network?
Close-ended.
Close-ended.
Okay, let's check and see. Wow, voila, we're good. All right, so we have an idea, definitely have an idea what is open-ended and what is closed-ended. All right, so see if there are any, check your understanding. Okay, no more check your understanding. So we're gonna do the quiz. Okay, we have this one here. And then after this, we'll do the quiz. All right. So match the reference tool to this description. Remember, we talk about the reference tools. We talk about we have them. We have the personal and reference tool, and we have the internet reference tool, and we talk about what comes underneath them. All right. So reference tool number one. Refer to these to avoid repeating steps and to determine what needs to be done next.
Here, one question.
Uh-huh.
As gentlemen, we just allow the ladies to answer these and we just agree after.
Set them up.
Is that good?
Yeah, set them up, man.
All right, ladies, you guys are on the floor. Go ahead. So it is refer to these to avoid repeating steps and determine what needs to be done next. Which one of these tools that you're talking about?
History of repairs.
History of repairs. Guys, you say you're gonna agree, you know, that you say you're gonna agree or disagree. I hear anything.
Agree.
Agree, sir.
Okay,
Agree.
cool. Includes description of the problem, possible solutions that have been tried to correct the problem, and the steps taken to repair the problem. Which tool is that?
To the online forums and chat sites.
Guys, agree?
Agree.
If you agree, you say yes. If you don't agree, you say don't agree, and she will try again. You guys agree, yes or no?
No, sir.
No, sir.
All right, go ahead, ladies. Them have to agree for me to put it in.
Journal.
Journal, guys, you agree?
I agree.
All right, we agree, right? Okay. This allows a technician to determine what work has been performed on a specific computer in the past.
Answer, ladies,
You
I'm a
know,
answer.
Which one is it?
I think that the first one is incorrect, and it appears to be like history for this one now. I could be wrong, but just me.
Okay. We're going to check, we know if it's wrong or right.
We can change the answer now.
I just want the guys to say if they agree or not, or tell me to. So the ladies said change the first one to history to this year and put the first one to be journal.
Well, I didn't say the first one change to journal, but for the third one, I would put history of repairs.
Okay, and which one would you put for the first one?
A little help here,
No.
females.
Put notes. Okay,
No,
so it's only one left. All right, so let's check and see where we're at. Wow. Who was the person who think of the first one? What, Tenley?
No, sir.
Who was
It
it?
was me.
Karine.
Karine.
Right.
Yeah.
Karine. It was a very good one. I was happy when you mentioned it. It's a good move.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good move. All right, notes are what you write down when you're doing the thing, the steps no. All right, so when you're making a repair now, notes are where you write down. So like you say, oh, me just move that screw and so on. So that is why you write down when you're doing it now. So you know what to do next. That's your notes. Your journal, all right, that includes more information, details, all right, and the problem, the possible solutions and so forth, and your history of repairs. All right, this will from you see the word past, you know you're talking about your history of repairs. All right, and you're talking about when you say specific computer or if a specific equipment. All right, and always know when you talk about a place to view questions, you're talking about online forums, chat sites, blogs, wherever, those stuff. All right, so good move, good job. All right, so let's do where we're at. Summary, conclusion, none. So we're going to do the quiz. All right. We'll do the quiz for chapter 4 and then we'll do chapter 5. We're on time. So we're going to do the quiz. Please remember, class, as I asked you before, even though we do the quiz together, I want everyone to do the quiz afterwards. All right. So on my computer, I will have a check mark right here to say that I complete the quiz. And your login, you won't have it. So you need to complete it. So please remember, everyone need to go through the quiz individually. All right. Okay. All right, I'm going to read this evening. What is a symptom of a failing power supply? And the answers are the display has only a blinking cursor. The power cord will not attach properly to either the power supply or the wall or both. The computer displays a post error code. The computer sometimes does not turn on. Which one is the correct answer?
Computer sometimes does not turn on.
Agree? Do we all agree?
Yes.
Number 2, which task should be performed on a hard drive as a part of preventative maintenance plan? So which task must be performed on a hard drive? And these are the answer. Blow out the inside of the drive with the compressed air to remove dust. Clean the read and write heads with a cotton swab. Ensure cables are firmly connected. Ensure the disk spins freely. Which one is the answer?
ensure the cables are firmly connected.
And we agree? Do we all agree? Do we all agree?
Yeah, we
Yes,
agree.
sir.
Okay. A scientific expedition team is using laptops for their work. The temperature where the scientists are working range from 13 degrees Fahrenheit to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. The humidity level is around 40%. Noise levels are low, but the terrain is rough and the winds can reach 45 miles per hour. When needed, the scientists stop walking and I enter the data using the laptop. Which condition is most likely to adversely affect the laptop that is used in this environment?
The temperature.
The temperature.
Give me a moment, please. Okay, what are two effects of not having a preventative maintenance plan for users and organizations? One, sorry, let me say we're going to choose two, and these are increased repair costs, increased documentation needs, increased downtime, increased number of regular updates, increased management task. Choose two.
Increased downtime.
Increase repair costs.
Increase repair costs.
A customer reports that recently several files cannot be accessed. The service technician decides to check the RD status and the file system structure. The technician asks the customer if a backup has been performed on the disk, and the customer replies that the backup was done a week ago to a different logical partition on the disk. Which should the technician do before performing diagnostic procedure on the disk? 1. Run check this utility. 2. Perform file restore from the existing backup copy at the logical partition. 3. Backup the user data and removable drive. And 4. Install a new hard disk as the primary disk, then make the current disk a slave. What should be that answer?
Backup the user data to a removable.
A user has opened a ticket that indicates that the computer clock keeps losing the correct time. What is the most likely cause of the problem? 1. The CPU needs to be overclocked. The operating system needs to be patched. The CMOS battery is loose or failing. The motherboard clocking crystal is damaged. All right?
CMOS
CMOS
battery.
battery. It's loose or failing.
All right, 7. What task should be completed before escalating a problem to a higher level technician? 1. Select the document each test that was tried. Replace all hardware components with components that are known to work. Redo each test to ensure the accuracy of the result. Ask the customer to open a new support request. what task should be completed before escalating, meaning you passing it up. So you're going to document each test that was tried or so forth. What is the answer?
Document each steps that was tried.
We all agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
An employee mentions that opening a large document file is taking longer than usual. The desktop support technician suspect that there might be a fault in the hard disk. What should the technician do next? 1, replace the hard disk with a new one to pinpoint the exact problem, perform the disk cleanup procedure, back up the user data from the workstation, contact data recovery, and contact data recovery company for service. All right, so let me read it again. The employee mentioned that opening a large document file is taking longer than usual. What is the answer?
Back up the user data from workstation.
Anybody else? Okay.
Form of this cleanup.
All right, so which one we agreeing on?
This cleanup.
This cleanup?
Yes.
Okay.
Backup user data.
All right, so that's 2 by 2. I need to know which one we must stick with.
Sir, just leave that one as the
We perform this
completion
cleanup,
time.
sir, because
Yeah, leave it. So if you're wrong, that means it might be one of
Yeah,
each.
the males them win if this cleanup and the females get it if the other way around.
All right, so which procedure is recommended when cleaning inside a computer? Clean the hard drive heads with cotton swab. Hold the CPU fan to prevent it from spinning and blow it with compressed air. Remove the CPU before cleaning. Invert the can of compressed air while spraying. So which procedure is recommended when cleaning inside a computer?
Let's say clean the drive heads with a cotton swab.
Sorry, brother.
sir, hold the CPU fan to prevent spinning when blowing the compressed air.
Well, the CPU.
Okay, so which one we're choosing? Hold the CPU fan or clean the drive head?
B.
B?
Hold the CPU.
All right, let's go with B and we're going to move then. Which task should be part of a hardware maintenance routine? 1, remove dust from the inside the hard drive, review security updates virus definition, check for and secure any loose cables, adjust the monitor for optimum resolution. The question again, which task should be a part of a hardware maintenance routine?
Check for secure.
And loose cable.
All
Yeah.
right, so we have a female voice and a male voice, which account for majority. What is the most important reason for a company to ensure that computer preventative maintenance is done? What is the most important reason? Preventative maintenance provide an opportunity for a junior technician to obtain more experience in a non-threatening or problem environment. Preventative maintenance help to protect the computer equipment against future problems. Preventative maintenance allows the IT department to regularly monitor the contents of user hard drives and to ensure computer use policies are being followed. Preventative maintenance enables IT manager to check on the location and state of the computer assets. Which one is the answer?
And one said preventative maintenance helps to protect the computer equipment from future problems.
We all agree?
Yeah, B.
Yes, sir.
After a problem is identified, what is the next step for the troubleshooter? Implement solution, document findings, determine the exact cause, verify the solution, establish a theory of probable cause. Which one is the answer?
The last one.
Establish a theory. Yeah.
Which step in the troubleshooting process is important to help avoid repeating repair processes that were performed previously? All right. We have documenting the problem and its solution, identify the problem, preparation of a plan of action, implementation of a solution. Only one answer is there. Which one is it?
Documentation.
Okay. I should ask everybody if they agree. I guess we agree. Agree, guys? We agree? Okay.
Yes.
14. Which cleaning tool should be used to remove dust from components inside the computer case? We have the duster, which we have the cotton swabs, compressed air, damp cloth. Only one answer is there. Well, you can't tell it's two there. Can't say two answers there, but which one is the answer?
Compress air.
Compressed
Compressed
air.
air.
Compress air.
Okay. All right, let's see what we did and see where we went wrong. Finish attempt. All right. All answers. Submit and finish. Submit all and finish. 100 out of 100. Class, I hope you remember all the answers because you're going to have to do it for yourself. And remember, I tell you, all of these questions comes on the exam, the chapter exam. All right, in one way or the other. So keep it right there. Okay, good job. All right, let's go to chapter 5. We're on time. We have 40 minutes to do chapter 5 or to do some stuff. Clap yourself, everyone. Good job.
Chapter 4 was short though.
Yes, it is. All right, we're gonna do chapter 5 now. Start chapter 5. Let me quickly stop sharing. And don't think chapter 5 is gonna be as short as that one, all right? It's more advanced material coming as we go along. All right, let us share. Share, select, optimize. There we go. Let's do it. So we are venturing now into a totally new topic, because so far we have looked at the basic fundamentals of the computer. We look at the computer parts. We look at assembling them. We look at the usage, what they are for, or what the importance of each component. We look at the type of components. We look at assembling the computer, how to assemble it together, motherboard. We put on the CPU onto the motherboard, heatsink and fan. We put on the memory. All right. We put in the power supply into the case. We put the motherboard into the computer. We align it with the screws. We put in the standoffs. We screw it down. We start to put onto the motherboard the adapter cards, and we plug on. We put in the hard drive, the optical drive, we connect them with the power cable and the data cables. Then we connect the front panel and the of the computer, and after which we cover up the computer case, we plug on the monitor, the keyboard, and the mouse, and the power cable. We press the power button, and voila, the computer starts up. So we have gone there. So when we learned, we disassemble the computer also by taking out everything out of the computer, which is we take out the power supply, we take out the adapter cards, we plug off the front panel cables of the motherboard, we plug off the power cables and the data cables of the hard drive and the CD drive. We take out the hard drive and the CD drive. We remove the memory. We remove the adapter cards already. Yes, we remove the memory. After we remove the memory, then we remove the heatsink and fan. We remove the processor, and then we remove the motherboard from the computer. All right, so we have gone through those steps, and we have looked at input and output devices, the need for them, the usage, the different kinds, the advanced computer components. We look at the slots, how the slots are set up. We talk about the PCI slots. We talk about them having different lanes and so forth, right? We're talking about the AGP graphics port. We're talking about the GPU. All right, we talk about the North bridge, South bridge. We talk about the different types of CPU, the multi-core CPU. We talk about also the form factors of hard cases and motherboard and power supply. We talk about LGA and PGA. And PGA is not Professional Golfing Association, by the way. PGA is pin grid array, and we talk about land grid array, talk about the two manufacturer of CPU, the companies, talk about AMD and so on. Trying to give you a refresh of all the things that we have gone through. And so it's a build up to where we are at right now. So right now, we are at networking concepts. We culminate the hardware part of the computer by talking about troubleshooting. So we know how to do preventative maintenance on computer. We know the troubleshooting steps and what we need to do to ensure that the computer have longer life, work better, more optimal. And we talk about troubleshooting the steps and how we'll respond to customers in a basic way. All right, and now we're going to move forward to networking. All right, some networking concepts. All right, so chapter 5 this chapter is long as chapter 3, and so it's 2 classes. We talk about in here we're going to talk about different objectives for each section. We're going to talk about network components and types. We'll explain the components and describe them. All right, talk about the network protocol, the standard and services. We'll explain them. All right, and ensure that we have a good understanding of what they are before we move out of this chapter. All right, so we're going to talk about the purposes of network devices, and we explain them too. And we're going to talk about the characteristics. We're going to talk about network cables and their characteristic. And we're going to describe the networking tools and so forth, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. All right. Okay, class. And I guess we are excited and ready. We are excited and ready because now most of us will be going outside of what we already were comfortable with. All right, so here we go. Exciting times ahead. Now, just to give you a quick, what time is it? A quick 2-minute synopsis of network, 3 minutes. At 8 o'clock, we move right into it. Is that if it wasn't for networking, we wouldn't be having class the way we are having class now. It wouldn't be online. We'll have to meet up at a location and do class. But because of networking, network communication, and over the years, the technological development over the many years, we are where we are, where we can talk on our phone to somebody else remotely via wireless communication. We can connect our device to the internet, whether via wire or wirelessly, and so forth. So networking is very integral into our everyday life right now for your internet usage, because guess what? You are using to connect to the internet for your emails, for your job. Most time persons who are working from home, talking on the phone, going to school, that's how important it is right now. And not only that, but when you think of the cable television, those are also networking. You understand? Those are the things that we talk about. We talk about the ATM machine where you can go downtown and draw money from your bank. You understand? And that is also network communication. So just to give you a basic understanding, our network is important to what we do. All right? When we are watching Jamaica performing at Diamond League or Olympics, it's all because of network communication. So all these things, that's what it is. So now we are doing, we are working like it's a beautiful thing here, networking. And I hope we enjoy this chapter and put some energy into it. As you can hear the excitement in my voice. All right, so network icons. So we have, and these are standard Cisco icons. Wherever you go in the world, you're doing anything with Cisco, you will see these network icons will look the same. They won't change. All right. So we have the network switch, which is at the top right-hand corner. We have the router. We have the wireless router. We have the access point, and we have the modem. These are network devices, We have them in our house right now. We have a network router in our house, a wireless router most likely. All right, in our house right now. If not a wireless modem, we have an internet modem, and we have a wireless access point somewhere there in our house. All right. And we have desktop computer, laptop computer, server, tablet, smartphone, printer, camera, iPhone, scanner. All right, and these are the network media icons. By the way, we'll be learning to use Packet Tracer in this course. And so you will see all these icons and in Packet Tracer. So we have the LAN media, which is referred to in the straight line. The WAN media, WAN stands for wireless area network, wide area network. All right. And that is what it looks like. Then you have the wireless media, which is for wireless devices, communication, and the cloud. When we talk about cloud, talk about like Google Drive and Dropbox and those stuff. All right. Moving forward. So types of network topologies and description. All right. We have the personal area network. All right, and the personal area network that comprises of is a network that commonly uses Bluetooth to connect, like to your mice, which is your mouse, your keyboards. You have some phones and your tablets, in your house. You can connect up to 4 Bluetooth devices. So that would be your personal area network. You understand? Right. So you connect you connect to your printer or your tablet. You connect let me say you connect your tablet via Bluetooth, your phone via Bluetooth, your mouse and keyboard via Bluetooth on your desktop. All right. Then you have a local area network. All right. Your local area network is a wired network, and that consisting of a switch and a network devices in a limited geographical area. Please pay close attention to the definition that is given here. All right, you can put it in one words, but there are words that are important inside here. Limited geographical area is critically important in the definition of local area network, LAN. All right, so VLAN. Then VLAN stands for Virtual Local Area Network. All right, and this is what it says now. It extends beyond a traditional LAN and groups users based on administratively defined boundaries. And when they talk about administratively defined, that word is not talking about the admin department as in, you know, where you have the secretary and so forth. No, it means from a management perspective, the person who is in charge decide by policy that we are going to group them in different groups based on the boundaries are based on the departments. So we can say, all right, we're going to put HR department in VLAN 1. We're going to put accounting in VLAN 2. We're going to put the bean counters in VLAN 3. And we're going to put the watchmen in VLAN 4. You get the point, class, right?
All right.
Right. So that is what we mean when we talk about administratively defined boundaries. It means that it is defined by management, and these boundaries are what you call like the logical boundaries make sense. You understand? Because they're you say, boy, everybody from HR just stay on one VLAN here, man. We don't want to know other VLAN. You understand me? And you guys over there so who are bean counters, you stay on Funaland too, same way. You understand? But it's the same local area network, but everybody they are separated by boundaries and not physical boundaries. We're talking about virtual boundaries, and that's why it is virtual local area network. Class, I don't know if I over explain myself or what, but do you understand what I'm talking?
You understand?
Sir.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
All right, good. So we will go delve further into VLAN as we move along, but just to give you the synopsis. Then we talk about wireless LAN, wireless local area LAN. Now, if you look at the definition for local area LAN, which is wired network consisting of a switch and network devices in a limited geographical area. No, wireless local area network. No, this is what it says. Connects multiple wireless devices and uses access point. All right, so it means that everything is connected, not by wired, but by wireless. All right, so if you look at the picture, you see total wireless. Huh? If you look at the virtual area network, this is this one here over here in the corner here. So you notice you have these computers are grouped and it's called IT. They are in VLAN 2. And if you look on this one here, they are grouped and it is VLAN 3, HR, and VLAN 4, sales. Okay, so that's what it is. These are the computers here. You see the switches, you see the router, and you see another switch here. Cool. Network topologies and description, we're still on it. So we have WMN, which stands for wireless mesh network. All right. And wireless mesh network, this is what it says, connects multiple wireless access points together to expand the wireless network. Now, if you look at wireless LAN, I'm going to go back one slide and show you. You notice all the devices are connected to this wireless router in the middle, you see? And you could have more than one wireless router in the middle, and then the wireless devices are connected to it. All right, so what is the difference with the wireless mesh network? Look at it now. So you have the wireless mesh network. So you have one wireless router here, this one, put down at the bottom of the house there as you enter the house. But then you have one next wireless modem or whatever up here, so. But you don't see no wired connect to it. Because you see, so when you see the wired, you just see a straight wire, right? But you notice this is a wireless signal. So this is only plugged in through the power outlet, but it is connected to this router wirelessly. There's no wired connection. Likewise, this one over here in the back part of the house, when I tell Tenley room, this Elisa room on the front. And down your in a living room. All right, so Rona Elisa room Rona back here. So the one next wireless access point around here, and this wireless access point is connected to this wireless access point wirelessly. No cable no run. All right, and that's why you say it's mesh. So when two wireless devices are connected to each other without cable attaching them together, it's mesh. It's wirelessly mesh. All right, class, please tell me that you understand.
Understand.
Ladies, do you understand? All right,
Yes,
Ladine.
sir.
All right, so when two wireless devices are connected, have connection with each other without cables, it's wirelessly connected and you call that meshing. All right, so wireless mesh network, that's what it is. Then you have man, right? You don't have any woman in this thing here. I mean, I know with God bless network, no have no woman. May I tell you why? You know, say woman that I take over. But you have man. I'm just bothering you, ladies, all right? I'm only bothering you. But you have man, which is metropolitan area network, all right? A network that spans a city. Now, LAN is a limited geographical area. MAN is a network that spans a city. All right, so let's look at the difference. All right, so we have a LAN here. See it? And this is Tokyo. All right. And then we have our next LAN over here, so. And this is Moscow, Russia. You understand me? Now, this one here is not a representation of a man, by the way. It's a representation of a WAN. This one right here. This one at the top. Let me see if I can let you see it clearly. The one at the top. Oh man, let's go right. This one at the top here is the representation of the man, because you have Montego Bay. We can see the let me see if we can bring it up a little bigger. No, you're not coming up. What going there? All right. Let's see where we can get it bigger. Zoom in, zoom out. There's no zoom out, zoom in. Wow, that's bad. All right, don't worry about the zoom, but say this city is Montego Bay. All right, and then you have, there's a metropolitan area now, so Montego Bay is a metropolitan area. So Montego Bay, and then you have out here, so a Freeport, then you have out here, so a airport, then you have down here, so a Witter Village, and then you have down here, so a Fairview, and they are connected to each other. So this is a metropolitan area network, a network that spans a city. All right, the one, which is a wide area network, a network that spans a large geographical area, is the one that can go across country borders and can also be within the country. Like for instance, if I have a company in Kingston and I'm connected as a network to a next one in Montego Bay, then that is a WAN, because it is not a metropolitan area. It's across the country as a large geographical area. So that is a WAN, a wide area network. And if I am in Jamaica and I can connect to my next organization in Miami, that is also a WAN, the large geographical area. All right, so the boundaries of WAN can cross country borders, all right, and even continent borders. Okay, class, so that is one wide area network. Then we have VPN, Virtual Private Network, a method of connecting to a network such as a company network across an unsecure network. I'm going to explain that, but before I explain it, I want to hear if you understand WMN, MAN, and WAN. Tell me that you understand those three topologies, the concept of those three topologies.
So, sir, for the man,
right.
Everybody would connect to the same server.
The same net. It doesn't have to be the same server, but they are on the same network. They can access each other network. So, for instance, the one in Kingston, the one in Fairview could have a different server. and the one in Witter Village could have a different server, and the one in airport could have a different server, and the one at Freeport can have a different server. No, they are connected, and they are metropolitan. They are connected as one network. But what happened is that they might have different IP addresses, which mean that it's different local area network IP address. But you can connect to each other server freely because you are one big MAN network. You understand now?
You understand? Yeah, but that would be safe.
Yes, it is safe because
Okay.
you are putting, remember, it's not something you just throw it in the open. You have put in all the security, the routing and security credentials and the protections and so forth, firewalls and all those stuff. Access lists, who can access where and access what. You put that in. The thing about it is that you can access each other network because you are one big network, the metropolitan network. Get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Any questions on any one of those three topologies before I go to VPN? Ladies?
Sure, so
Any
far.
question? Any question, ladies? Karine?
No, sir. No, sir.
Alicia, you don't talk from night. Okay, don't talk from Alicia tonight. But seriously, if you don't understand, it's good for them. But I try to give you as best explanation as I can. All right, so let's go to VPN now. VPN, Virtual Private Network. And the reason I did this one last is because I want you to, the understanding of this one is a little different. Virtual Private Network is a method of connecting to a network. All right? Or like you're connecting to your company remotely across the internet. So you'll say remotely across an unsecure network, because the internet itself is an unsecure network because it's everybody network, right? The internet is an unsecure network because it's everybody network. So a virtual private network is when you can connect to your company's network through the internet securely. All right? Anybody in the group work in the call centers or any one of the BPOs? Anybody working in any BPO?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you will see on your computer when you're connecting to the campaign or like Amazon or those people, whoever it is, when you're connecting to their services, you're going through a VPN, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
No, the VPN is there to take you through the internet securely to their network. You understand me now? The VPN is there to take you through to their network via the internet securely. So I'm going to give you an example for those who love watch cartoons like me. Or let me not use the cartoon version because not people might not watch cartoon. But take for instance the ocean, right? The ocean. For you to get from point A to point B in the ocean or under the water, okay, you're going to travel through the water. Let me not say on top of the surface of the water. Under the water from point A to point B without being wet. You're gonna start off here and go in the wide open ocean from point A to point B, and you come back out dry as chip with no water not touch you. You would use what kind of vehicle? Can anybody tell me what kind of vehicle would they use?
A submarine.
Submarine.
Exactly. So your submarine would be your VPN. Your submarine would be your VPN tunnel. So you're getting through the ocean, which is the internet, which is unsecure. And you are getting to where you're going dry and safe and free of water on your body from point A to point B. That is your VPN, and that's how you're going to look at your VPN network now. Your VPN network is a method of connecting to your network, right, across the unsecure network of the internet. Everybody understand that?
I understand.
Yes, sir. Because
Right.
sometimes
Yes,
on the
sir.
phone, them you have some things that say in your region, and you have some VPN business. Say now go work in Jamaica, you know where sometimes you can't even use the app and use the VPN and make it pinpoint
Right.
to say USA there, sir. So it end up pick up on your phone whatever you did want to pick up.
All right, Mr. Ocker, that's correct. That's correct. Yes, he's correct. But and I wanted to know, if you notice, I tried to explain VPN totally different from the other topologies, just for you to understand how it is. So the VPN is like a secure tunnel and the secure tunnel that takes you through via the public internet that we have here to your location that you want to get to securely. All right, I hope you guys understand that. All right, brief history of connection types, of connection technologies. All right, so back in the days when you want to watch a movie, long time ago, when I was just Michael, like in my 9, 10 early years, very early years, the only way to watch cable and them things there to watch big movie, you have to rich, you have not so rich. Yeah, people must have things, monies. And in my days, I have to catch up on my friend Veranda to watch a movie when they watch on satellite dish. We not have none satellite dish them time there. You understand me? We have only JBC. We don't have nothing else. You understand? And we have with video cassette. And everybody we have video cassette them time. We don't no video. That's how we call it. Video them time there. You understand? So that's the satellite receiver where it brings in signals and push out signals. All right. So, and then you have the modem come into the era of modem. You have the 16K modem. Then you have the 28K modem. Then you have the 33 modem. You have the 64 modem. And that's how it moves. You have the first, it start with the 8K modem. When them, you guys probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but those are modem you connect using a telephone lines to get internet. All right, and so forth. And we move all the way until we go to DSL, then we go to ADSL, and then we are where we are now. Broadband. So let's talk about them. Analog telephone access. We call that dial-up when you used to use the modem. One modem to call the other modem. So the modem is a word, but it's really two words joined together. The modem comprises of two technology in one, and the two technology is moderator, demodulator. All right, so that's what the modem is. All right, so it will take a call, take a signal coming, and demodulate the signal on the next end, put it to your computer, and give you access to the internet. And back in the days, the internet never full up of so many dynamic websites and so on. It's just simple web page, HTML1, the matter of fact, and very light images. And any videos going on internet, then time they have low resolution because we don't have no help of bandwidth to run anything. All right, so that's where we come from. All right, so ISDN, wow, remember in the day of ISDN, we have an ISDN which is our 64K or 128K bandwidth. Oh, you have speed. May I tell you have speed like a nothing. It's like I used to your bicycle and then I get upgrade to a bike. You understand? That's how it is. So more bandwidth with dial-up than dial-up and can carry voice and video and data. That's what ISDN is. And it stands for Integrated Services Digital Network. Then we come to the era of what we know, broadband. But broadband has moved from broadband way up. You know, we have like 2G, we are like 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, you know? So broadband has really, really grown. All right, it uses different frequencies to send multiple signals over media. And we're not talking about no telephone line. All right, So analog telephone access, which is dial-up, use telephone line. And ISDN also use telephone line. But when we talk about broadband, we talk about wireless signals, and we talk about fiber, talk about cable, talk about Cat6, we talk about radio waves, those things we talk about. So when we talk about radio, we're talking about satellites from outer space beaming down radio wave signals to the earth here, and we use those signals for cable TV and such the likes and such the likes. All right, so we guys have an understanding. DSL, cable, and fiber. All right, so we move from ISDN and we come to broadband live, which is DSL, cable, and fiber. And DSL stands for digital subscriber line. All right, always on technology that uses phone lines, voice, and data. I don't have a modem here. I could show you what a broadband dial-up modem is look like. All right, and it carry voice, data, and it carry video too, and requires a filter on the port that connects to the phone, because through it comes with a phone port, and the phone line is also connected to it. That's why it requires a filter on it, so to carry data different from voice. All right. Cable uses a cable modem to connect to a traditional TV network. And most of us might know that technology because we are using it now. You know, Lime especially, they bring internet to your house using a cable modem. And so you have your cable channels coming through the cable modem, and you have your internet also coming through the cable modem. So it uses, it's to carry traditional TV network, shares the network with multiple subscribers. Then we have fiber technology, high bandwidth, I mean like forever bandwidth, unlimited bandwidth based on what kind of fiber you use. All right. High bandwidth connectivity connection used in backbone networks, large enterprise environment, large data centers, and now part of some home internet. So now we have FTH, which means fiber to the home. So some residents are enjoying that technology, both from Flow and both from Digicel, where fiber comes straight inside of your house. So you get good broadband signal coming into your house. All right. And fiber is one of the, fiber and radio wave are two of the main means of moving data, large bandwidth data across boundaries, international boundaries. All right, so from Miami to Jamaica, we have massive fiber cable running underwater coming into Jamaica on our shores. Likewise, other countries do the same. So it's either we're going underwater with fiber, or we are doing it from the sky, satellite radio waves. So we run fiber also from Kingston to Montego Bay underground. You see them dig up the road, Digicel that dig up the road and I run them fiber cable. All right, and other people. Or we use signals that transmit radio waves. So when you think about Digicel cell towers and Flow cell towers, they are transferring wirelessly from one antenna to the next, which is a wireless mesh network, by the way. All right, so we think of those, that's all we use high bandwidth. Those are high bandwidth media. All right. Any questions? Any questions, class? Any questions?
Not right now.
All right, cool. So let's move to the next slide. So when I talk about wireless, we talk about line of sight. All right, line of sight, LOS. When we talk about wireless internet service, line of sight wireless, always on technology, meaning always working, always on, uses radio signals. That's what we're talking about, radio wave, radio signals for connecting to the internet. All right, a clear path is required, meaning it must can see you. You know, if me can't see you, it's something I'm aware. All right. Then you have weather affect signal strength and performance. And guys, you guys must experience this. You know, whenever you have rain and cloudy effect, you notice your data signal gone down on your phone, and you can't call on your friends and sitting there. You understand? And that's one of the reasons you notice our cell towers, then the mountain top most times, then they're higher than you, because you must be able to see them. So when your phone stand up where it is, because it is higher than you are, your phone can see the tower. I mean, the signal can reach it. That's what I mean, right? So that's our line of sight come in. So that's why you have towers way above that it is clear enough to get the signal down to you. All right, if you put it round this behind one big TV, big plaza, down a ground behind the plaza, that signal not going to reach you. You understand? So that's all what it means when it's a line of sight for wireless internet. And that's the reason you have towers. And when rain fall and overcast and them things that affect the signal strength and performance. All right. Satellite. Let's talk about satellite. Internet connection types. We talk about satellite. Satellite broadband technology for remote areas. So think about the cruise ship. Think about the cruise ship. The cruise ship out there in the ocean, you can't see nobody. You can't see no land. You can't see no tower. Because the only thing out there water. You ever wonder how the cruise ship people them have internet access? Class?
Yes, sir.
By the satellite.
Right. So the satellite that's up in the sky, that is what facilitates signals to the cruise ship out there. You understand? And not only the cruise ship, but also the airplane when it's flying. For those who experience in-flight internet, them call it fly-fi. And one of you guys ever travel on some plane and you can use the internet from you go on a plane till you reach where you go?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right. So JetBlue offers that, Delta offers that, a couple of them. That signal is coming using from radio waves coming from the sky. All right, from satellite that is up there. So satellite uses a satellite dish, not a good solution for a time-sensitive application like gaming, voice over internet, and for video conferencing. And the reason for that is because of the delay. The latency is high on it. So when you're out there.
Is it because it travel from a distance?
And maybe because you're moving too. Yeah.
Okay.
The whole setup. But if that's what you have, that's what you use. Nobody will know. Matthew. What you don't know is that when we are watching some events on TV and we are watching it live, it is live to us because we think it's happening already, but sometimes it's happening like 30 seconds already. You know that? You guys ever think that when you're watching the Tokyo Olympics, by the time the feed get to the satellite out in a space and get back to us in a Jamaica and America or wherever, the event done. So both 100-meter race done. But we don't know. You get what I say? But when we get the feed is when we get the feed. So that is live feed to us. You understand? Because most of these feeds are not really real time. So it's like a 2 seconds, a 10 seconds delay or so forth. So by the time it comes to us, the race done, but we get the feed. You didn't know that, right?
Never know at all.
Yes, sir, we know that. Because, all right, sir. Live broadcast, I no use cable. Me use one internet thing, yes, sir. where you go on online and you watch your live television. And
Uh-huh.
me use two different ones. I want to go on the first one part I want to show like me catch it like around 30 seconds before, and then I go back on it and the part they not even reach it, but at the same thing I go on.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's
No,
what
yeah,
I tell even when you watch football match, right? If you're watching it on your phone, as depends if you're watching it on your TV, one of them is a little second shorter. So the time lag is there, but you don't know. You understand? But that's fine because we're not there and it's live to us.
Yeah.
Cellular connection. Cellular relies on cell towers to create a network used by cell phones and connectivity. So cellular towers them connect, get internet, and they connect to each other. Each tower connects to the next using a mesh system. So the cellular towers are really wireless mesh network. And then we get signal from those towers to our cell phone device or our mobile devices. All right, and remember again, those are line of sight, just the same. Mobile hotspot. Mobile hotspot and tethering. Who in class don't know what that is? Anybody in class don't know what mobile hotspot and tethering is? Class, I'm giving you the extra 10 minutes that I was late, so we have 5 more minutes to go. All right?
Okay, but I think we should have we used that before. Me aware of an
Okay.
idea of what it is.
Right. So you know when you have your cell phone and you have data upon it and you have internet and you want to give your friend right beside you some connection, and you do the hotspot and you do the tethering thing there, where you can connect to your phone and browse the internet on his device. Or you can allow multiple persons. All right, that is your mobile hotspot and tethering. Or it says a cell phone option that allows another device to connect to the internet using Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or USB cable. All right, and the other device is using the phone cellular connection to connect to the internet. So that person have no internet connection, but them getting internet via your device. All right, and that is called tethering or hotspot. All right, a mobile hotspot is when a cell phone allows Wi-Fi device to connect and use the mobile data network. All right, do we understand?
Understand?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
One question.
Go ahead.
Why you can't do hotspot off of Wi-Fi itself? Like you connect to your host network, but if you give somebody a hotspot, it won't work.
Because when you're using hotspot, it is expecting you to use data, and it turns off your wireless. Immediately turns off your wireless, because your hotspot and your wireless don't work at the same time. Your wireless is turned off at the same time. Once you enable hotspot, your wireless is turned off.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry,
It's a mobile hotspot is when the phone alone. I'm sorry.
I believe they are device specifically for that purpose. The head spot extenders or something.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm saying they have items so that they extend the length of the
Somebody else who hear that clearly could just say it for me, please.
TMC 7 internet issues. Didn't
Okay.
hear me.
Okay, I barely hear you clearly.
That's a bad connection there.
Yeah, our speaker is bad. All right, so sorry, but I'm not hearing you clearly. But that's one of the reasons I can tell you that when you turn on your mobile hotspot, because it's going to be working from your data, it's expecting to use the data, it will turn your provider, you the provider of the hotspot, you turn your Wi-Fi off. All right. Networking protocols and standards. I'm going to stay at this point for until next class. Because there's a video right after. It's almost 8:40 now. And I'll give you guys, if you have any questions, anything you want us to discuss before with any class. All right, so I've given you some assignments. Not all of the assignments will be due Sunday. I'm not going to stress you out, kill you out. But I'll be turning on the exam tomorrow. I'm going to turn on chapter 4 and chapter 3. Chapter 4 is a very small chapter. I'm going to turn on chapter 4 and chapter 3. So you can do those exams by midnight Sunday. All right. If you want, because Monday is lockdown, I probably can extend it till Monday because I'm going to give you assignments also. Is that okay? Everybody agree with that?
Different assignments from we already get?
No, I'm not giving you any assignment for chapter 4. The assignment that I put in there for chapter 3. Plus, I'm going to give you a research.
Separate from the one we received already?
Yep, but the research is not due this weekend.
Okay, but all the researches that we just got there
All
due
the labs
this
will
weekend.
be due this weekend.
Plus the exam?
Plus the 2 exams. So I'll give you an extra day. So I'll extend everything until Monday midnight.
All right, so that's unreasonable.
So I'll open the exam tomorrow. And for those who feel comfortable to do the exam, you can go ahead and do the exam. Some persons want to complete the exam and then do the assignments. Some people want to do the assignment and do the exam. Whichever choice, whichever way you want to do it. But I'm going to turn the exam on tomorrow, exams 4 and 3 tomorrow. And everybody's expected to complete the exams and the labs that are posted by Monday night, midnight. Monday, midnight. All right? Our next class will be on Tuesday. So Monday, midnight. We'll continue with chapter 5, networking protocol standards and services on Tuesday. And we'll finish chapter 5 on Tuesday.
Okay, so for chapter 5, we won't be receiving any slides until we complete it, right?
Right, because you guys have exams. So focus on chapter 3 and 4 exam and the assignments.
Okay.
Seriously, for the assignment, should they be emailed to you just the same like the last time?
I prefer when everybody put the assignment on Moodle so I can put the grades up on Moodle. When you send it to me like that, I can't put I just have to just record the grades.
Okay, but there is not a place on Moodle for it. I'm only seeing like the private file.
All right. Tomorrow, just remind me in the group. Let me find out from the institution why I'm not seeing you guys in Moodle. All right.
Yeah,
For those who have uploaded their assignment to Moodle, I've graded those assignments. Those persons who didn't have also graded their assignments. So I'll send them out tomorrow.
yes, sir. They said that I am not enrolled to your course, and I understand it.
You do what?
I'm not enrolled to the course.
Which course?
Your course.
How comes not?
That's when me log in, right? Me actually go down to where you tell me something for go down to. And when we go in it, I said me not enrolled to it.
That's on Moodle.
Yes.
Okay, well, tomorrow I'm going to have to find out why. For those, because I'm the registrar at the school, they take care of all of those administrative issues, and not me.
Oh, yes, sir. One more thing. Like when I go on the assignment, they may not, some of them have the accurate date where you give if you complete it by, and some of them have some last year date. So like chapter 2.
Chapter
The
2
chapter
date.
2 assignment, they
Yeah,
have a
chapter
last
2
year.
date. Yeah, chapter 2 date was not set, but it should have been there now if you look on it. So you will see from now on the next chapters we'll have the date set.
All right.
All right, and
Just
the
that me
cutoff
there.
time will be there.
Oh, all right.
Okay?
I think it's best to double check some of the email addresses as well, sir, because that was the issue I had with the school, where they keep saying that they enrolled me, they send email, but it was the wrong address. Even my name was incorrect. I'm not
All
sure if
right, I
maybe
want,
others are
all
having
right.
that same issue.
It could be. What I would prefer then, for every student who has not been enrolled, I cannot upload the resource on Moodle, please post your correct email address inside the group so I can forward it to the school. Can you do that for me tonight or tomorrow morning so I can forward it and let them know that these students are not enrolled in Moodle and as such cannot upload their assignments?
May I do it now?
Okay, cool. Any other questions, class, before we go? Any other questions?
Sir, how far in the networking part we're going to go?
All right, so the networking is really exciting. Where we have now, we're gonna do a couple. I think we're gonna get in there. It's not gonna be deep, but we're gonna get right in there where the understanding is what you need for the course.
Okay.
You
So
understand?
is a case where we're going to learn like to configure like switches and modem and stuff.
Oh, definitely yes.
Okay. Okay.
You're gonna also learn how to do for IP addressing and so forth.
Okay.
So we're going to go into networking. As I say, it's exciting time now. So,
Sorry, so if we go this deep, then mean the course what CCNT.
it's not very deep.
Okay.
It's not very deep, but this course, where it brings you, is where your enlightenment begins. Put it that kind of way.
Okay.
You understand? It's where your enlightenment begins. That's where you feel like you need to go more. You understand? Right. So this is good stuff. So complete the assignment and the exam for chapter 5 and 4. I don't want you guys thinking about when we're doing chapter 5. I'll do the exams. All right.
So one more question. So sorry, when we're doing like the face-to-face practical, we actually get hands-on with these equipment, like
Yes,
the
man.
switch and rotors and some.
Well, even if you not do hands-on with the switches and rotors, because we have very good simulators, online simulators in the class that we'll be working with in the class. You understand? That can assist.
Okay.
Any more questions? All right. No, since there are no more questions, it was a good evening. Thanks for being in class, for participating, and for being present. And I hope you would enjoy and learn something. All right. And everyone, please have a good night.
All right, sir. Same to you.
All right.
You too. Night, night.
Night, night.
All right, everybody. All right.